Don't upgrade. What a terrifyingly evil thing to say in this world of capitalism. I'm actually telling you not to spend your money. Well, right now everything's going to be going crazy. For the next 2 months, you're going to see marketing people, influencers are going to be influencing, and everyone is going to be asking for your money. They're going to give you deals on things that you didn't know you needed and you probably don't need, but deals like you've never seen before, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I should get this. You're going to be bombarded with certain things so many times that you're going to think you want things that you absolutely never ever are going to use. I use OEM keys for a few different reasons. This is the price you're going to pay for Windows 11 Pro if you get a retail key. Let's check those prices on whokeys.com. $30. No, we can do better. Put in TS25, click apply. There we go, $23.22. Let's say you want to get a copy of Windows 10 Pro. Let's click on buy it now. Coupon code TS25, hit apply, and watch that price come down. There we go. The other thing is OEM keys are generally locked to your hardware. So if you move it from one motherboard to another, you may need to get another key, but you'll have to get many keys to equal the price of one retail key. If you need Office, you're also going to be able to get those same deals, 25% off on Office 2019 and 2016. These are offline versions of Office without monthly fees. Let's go ahead and check out with our copy of Windows 11 Pro. All right, just put in my card info. There we go. Click on View Keys and Codes. Once you get to the User Center, click on Get the Key. You'll see your key right here in the middle. Go ahead and highlight that, copy that, hit Start, type Activate, click on Activation Settings, paste it in there, click on Next, and you will be activated. Also, everything over here is on sale and TS25 is going to work. So head over to whokeys.com. Thanks to them for sponsoring. And now on to our regularly scheduled program. I'm going to make this video every year. I made one like it last year. And what I'm going to try to do here is push the brakes a little bit, because, you know, when new products come out, when new things come out, every single time, everything goes to all the different people online. They all make videos at the same time. And let's say if it's like a new CPU or something, one day you're going to wake up and you're going to see 900 videos. And even if those videos are unbiased reviews and that's all they are, it's still going to mess with your head. And you're going to start to develop something in the industry they call gear acquisition syndrome. So I'm here just to talk to you about that for a second. I don't want you to not upgrade. That's not the point of this. The point of this is to stop and look around and assess the situation, and maybe I'm going to save you from spending some money that you didn't need to spend. Maybe instead of spending all that money, you could just hang out and play some of the games in your backlog and be happy. But first off, let's go ahead and take a look at all the main things. We're talking mostly about tech because that's what we talk about here. Nvidia. Yeah, let's look at what they're focused on right now. AI. That's it. Just AI. AI. I'm scrolling down. Scrolling down. Oh, there we go. Gaming. Did you know that Nvidia also does gaming? Did you know that? I mean, I thought they were just an AI company. They do make what most people consider to be the best graphics cards on the planet, but it's all AI right now. And a lot of their new stuff is driven by this. So, yeah, when they know that people don't need to see graphics cards when they go there. Gamers are not going to be going to Nvidia's website to figure out if they make graphics cards or not. So I'm being a little bit tongue-in-cheek right there. But the point is that their focus is mostly on AI. And their focus has been on software for a while. Now, they're not making the AI because they're smart. They're making a shovel. So Nvidia is a shovel manufacturer. I could probably make a totally separate video just talking about that. But they're making shovels for all the big, tech companies that are making AI. None of them are turning a profit. Nvidia doesn't care. They know they're getting billions and billions of investor, dollars and VC money. They're getting all that. Nvidia's like, you know what? You guys are out there digging. It's probably not going to find. You're probably not going to find gold, but here's your shovel. So they're making a lot of money on that. But it's also sort of seeped into a lot of the other elements of their business. And if you look at the future stuff, especially the new 5 Series stuff that's coming out, a lot of it is on, AI generating frames. And of course, they got the DLSS and all that kind of stuff. And I think the Nvidia software package that they have given to a lot of developers and kind of just shoved into the industry, a lot of it's, a lot of the technologies baked into Unreal Engine and a lot of the major engines now, a lot of that has turned the entire industry into, a lot of that has turned the industry down this weird path that I don't like. So I'm going to recommend a video here before you start yelling at me because I don't like DLSS or something like that. It's this video here by Threat Interactive. Now, they're making a fork of the Unreal Engine, a very ambitious project. And if you watch this video, because you're curious about what I'm talking about, I think you'll understand. But they're showing how a lot of the new technologies are creating so many artifacts and so much blurring. And, we've got fancier effects, we've got fancier reflections, we've got fancier stuff going on, but a lot of that is just being destroyed by all of the processing. See, this is SMAA. It was pretty good back then. And then once we get to the, the temporal anti-aliasing and all that sort of stuff, it just starts to get rough. There can be good implementations of all that, but a lot of times when I turn on DLSS, I'm getting just shimmering everywhere. The hair looks awful with DLSS on it. It looks terrible. So I always prefer to play my games without DLSS, even if I have to turn them down to medium, because as soon as I turn on a lot of those technologies, it's like I took off my glasses and I'm looking at a blurry screen, and sure, there may be crazier effects going on, and there might be better soft lighting and subsurface scattering and all these other technologies that a lot of people don't even notice. Sure, that might be there. But is that really making the games any better? Not really. But that's what Nvidia is using to drive the prices of their GPUs. They're being like, you're getting all this stuff, and we're showing you all this stuff. And, their hardware is not ready. Obviously it's not ready for the real ray tracing experience. It's not ready for the photorealism that they always want to push. Every generation they like, photorealism, photorealism, photorealism. I feel like 10 years ago, games had just a better style than they do now. Maybe better looks. The photorealism that we were chasing before all the DLSS and all the smearing technologies and blurring and TAA and all that stuff, I feel like looked a lot better than the modern generation. Go back and look at some of those games. Look at Mirror's Edge. It looks better than anything on the modern generation. And it doesn't have all that nonsense technology. So I feel like they're kind of pushing that, and they get the games to have all that. And then the games say, hey, we've got all this cool stuff, but if you want it, you got to buy Nvidia, and they want you to upgrade. And the only way you can experience this is to go spend a lot of money getting a new graphics card. What I'm saying to do is to, number one, play your backlog. Number two, ask yourself, are you even into these, brand new live service games that are coming out, or whatever else? The new Final Fantasy game's on a live service, and I played that one, and it looks absolutely terrible. In order to get a playable frame rate, you almost have to turn on some of those smearing, and blurring and frame generation or whatever. You got to turn on DLSS for sure, but oh my God, the hair is so shimmery and the performance is terrible. It's not even a very good game, but I don't know. I digress. What I'm saying is, do you need it? Maybe if you play in 4K, you do. So, all right, let's move on and talk about the new AMD CPUs, right? So we got the new Ryzen parts, the Ryzen 7 9800X 3D. It is stupid fast. If you want to go get it, and you got a reason to have it, go ahead. It's going to be future-proof for the next several years. Now, when you look at the performance of that compared to something like, over on the AM4 platform, like the 5700X 3D, okay, on some games, very similar. Other games, 20-30%, maybe even more. But the point of the comparison here that I want to really point at is that the 5700X 3D right now with modern games gets like 160 to 200 FPS. Whereas, the 9800X 3D, it'll get over 200 FPS, 230 FPS in some games. Another video here for you. And you can see in the comparisons with Black Myth Wukong, we're getting about the same performance all the way across the board. 5700X 3D and the 9800X 3D. Look at that. They're basically identical. So that's interesting. And this one does require a, decent graphics card. But then when you move over to some of the other games, you'll start to notice like a bigger delta. 162 versus 196. Is 162 playable? Because here's the deal. I feel like if you get the 5700X 3D right now, and you're playing your games at 1080p or 1440p, I think you'll be fine until AM6. I'm saying it right now. If you have a really good AM4 CPU, I think you'll be fine until AM6. Now, somewhere in the middle of this, maybe over the next 3 or 4 years, you might need to upgrade your graphics card. Especially if you've got like a 20 series or below Nvidia, or like a an RX 580 from AMD, or like an older GPU. Yeah, you'll need to upgrade your graphics card, but I think a 5700X 3D will be just fine. And with all the sales coming up, if you don't have one and you've got an AM4 and you want to upgrade your AM4 setup, I think it's a pretty good idea just to grab one of those, because I think we're going to see those for like $115 to $150, somewhere in that range. AMD said that this generation of CPUs has been extremely slow out of the gate, so there's probably a reason for that. We're doing just fine with the old stuff. I mean, even, like I said, the 5700X 3D, is still a beast right now. And I've got a 5900X in my machine, and I am not going to upgrade unless like AMD sends me something for free. But I am not going to pay for an upgrade because there's not been, you know, when I'm doing CPU stuff, there hasn't been one time when I've thought, yeah, I really need a faster CPU for this rendering or whatever. Usually when I'm rendering a video, like when I render this one later, I push the button, I go to the kitchen to get something to drink or something, and I turn around and it's done. And I'm like, oh, yes, of course it's done. So yeah. Next up, what else are we going to talk about? Oh, Intel. Poor Intel. Simplify your AI journey. Oh my God, it's all about AI. Everything's AI. Are we a CPU company? No, we're an AI company. Oh God, I'm so sick of this trend. I know they don't care about the general consumers whenever I see that on their page. They only care about VCs and billionaires and people who are going to throw large sums of money at some new fangled technology. Because the regular consumers, studies show, are actually turned off by the phrase AI. So they're not putting AI in the name of all their products, and AMD with all their AI CPUs, and Intel with all their AI initiatives, and Nvidia with all their AI stuff. They're not doing that for you. They're doing that so that the big investors and the companies who are trying to get money from the big investors will look at this and be like, oh yes, of course, we want to use this. So yeah. Anyway, I don't even think I need to talk about Intel that much, because their new CPUs, not even better than the last generation. I mean, except for the fact that they don't catch on fire and stuff, and they don't die because there's something wrong with the manufacturing, at least not that we know of yet. And also, what the hell is a Core Ultra? I know I've done some mini PC videos, and I was hoping that the whole Core Ultra thing was just going to be a name for some esoteric mini PC parts, but no, it's Core Ultra now, whatever that means. Just got more letters than I, so yes. Anyway, I don't even think I need to talk about that, because if you're serious and you're doing gaming or even whatever else, you're probably using AMD anyway when it comes to your CPU. So we're just not even going to talk about that. And if you want another video where we talk about what's going to happen with Intel, is it possible that Intel gets bought up by someone like Qualcomm, or I don't know, ARM, who's going to buy them? I don't know. Everyone's talking about who was it? I forgot. Not Qualcomm. Yes, it is Broadcom. Yeah, I don't know. There was talk about them getting purchased, but not entirely. We could talk about that. I don't have all my notes in front of me, but yeah. So yeah. It's a big sensational thing, not upgrading. But when do I think you're allowed to upgrade? You can do whatever you want, but just be aware that all this hype is going to make you feel like you should be getting stuff, and you don't have to fall for it. You can actually self-talk and be like, you know what? I've seen 9,000 videos on this new CPU. I've seen 9,000 videos on this new Nvidia GPU, but I don't have to have it. Because a lot of times you're going to like switch out your old card, like a 3070 or whatever, and put in this new 5 Series card that's just brand new off the factory lines, put it in there, and then you're going to play your same old games that are running it. Now they're, instead of running at 300 FPS, now they're running at 900 FPS. You got some jazz hands from me. That's what you got. So I created a set of rules or guidelines for like myself, to let myself know when it's okay to upgrade. And I made a video about that, so I'll link that below. But I'll give you just the basics. It's like, if I can't play the new game that I want to play on the resolution of my desktop monitor without it stuttering, then it's probably time to think about upgrading. If you have a 4K monitor that's 27 inches, I would say before you upgrade, you should downgrade that to a 1440p, because a 27-inch 4K monitor is silly. And I'll die on that hill. A 4K monitor at that tiny size, silly. 4K should be 32 or higher at least. So if I saved you from falling into the hype and getting something, let me know, because it'll make me feel good. Because the next video I do is going to be about Black Friday deals. I'm going to try to keep those sensible, and I'm also going to give everyone a warning in that video as well. But, we're all going to be talking about products. I'm going to be talking about some products. All the other YouTube channels are going to be talking about products. You're going to see it all over your feeds on whatever Blue Sky or whatever thing you're using. Threads, I don't know where people are these days. We're all over the place. So yeah, you're going to see it everywhere. Anyway, I want to remind everybody that my new album is out. I spent most of last month making it, so I really hope you enjoy it. I used a lot of DOS and SNES sounds to kind of, I think, make something that sounds a little bit unique but still nostalgic at the same time. So here's a little sample of that to play at the end of the video. I'd rather just play the music and not talk, so if you like it, there's a link for that in the description as well. And with all the money you save from not buying the newest CPU, you can spend 1/100th of that and get the new album. So there you go. That'll be a way to say thanks for me saving you from buying some nonsense. Anyway, links in the description. See you later.